Hi guys, welcome back to Solid-sama. For fans who only watched anime Tensei Slime Datta, that time I got reincarnated as a slime, they must have been so curious about the so-called voice of the world for a long time. However, besides that voice, the world in Slime Datta still has a lot of fascinating things. For example, the rules of the world, or the things we often see most, the naming. To understand more about that, today let's follow Solid-sama to watch the video. The voice of the world and all about naming in That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. Please note that our video contains some spoiled information from the web novel and the manga That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. Anime fans should consider this before watching. The price is affordable and the quality is fabulously amazing. Now, firstly, let's find out what is the voice of the world. Since the creation of the world, when Veldanava created worlds, he also created a system similar to a supercomputer managing the world in his place. It supervised everything, from the flow of magic elements to the distribution of skills and the regulation of the soul's circulation. And from that system appeared a voice that announces to all creatures around the world, which they often call the voice of the world. Basically, the voice of the world is an existence of logic, computation, distribution, and of course, without any emotions. It often speaks when the world changes, when someone acquires a unique skill or an ultimate skill, when that person goes through the evolution of a race or attains a certain title. For example, when Rimuru awakened into the Demon Lord, or when Benimuru evolved from demon to the fair Oni, or when Valentine's unique skill, Lust, evolved into the ultimate skill, King of Lust Asmodeus, and so forth. The voice of the world spoke up all those times. It also appears when there are some events related to the existence of the most unique creatures, like dragons. The proof for this is that when Veldora was swallowed by Rimuru, the whole world received a message. The premature dragon had gone, and thereby led to the chaos of the great Jura forest. In short, just like some fantasy games, the voice of the world is no more than a player guiding system. Throughout the history of the world, if nothing changes, the voice of the world will never directly interfere or influence the development process. Because it has no emotions or any wicked intent, but it still has a certain rules, and if anyone violates, those individuals will be wiped out. The first rule: the creator of the system, Veldanava, must love all people and creatures and never show his love to any particular individuals. Therefore, when Veldanava fell in love with Lucia and decided to live a peaceful life with the humans, the voice of the world considered it a violation of the rule and decided to abolish both Veldanava and Lucia. The second rule of the system is that the spirit creatures, like dragons, absolutely must not have children. And once again, the father of the world, Veldanava, broke the law to give birth to Milim. And you have already known the result. Both Lucia and Veldanava were neatly wiped out. Yeah, we usually say, dying for a girl is a painful death. Veldanava is the evidence of this. In addition to the above two rules, the world of slime has one more rule. That is, demons absolutely cannot lie. The reason for this has not been clearly explained yet, but as a rule, creatures born from magic elements cannot lie. And if they do it on purpose, they will be removed by the voice of the world. Therefore, the demon creatures and the devil beings must always tell the truth, and that is the reason why they are often envious of humans, the species that can comfortably shoot the breeze. However, there are still a few ways to dodge the rules. For example, they can choose not to speak or only half speak in a way that misleads the other people. That is nearly a lie, but not against the laws of the world. Moreover, for a cunning lord like a demon lord Clayman, he has an extremely excellent ability to dodge the law, which is his strong belief in his statements and his persuasion in believing those things to be completely true. Of course, that wouldn't violate the rules of the world. And with that superb method, Clayman lied many times to accuse Rimuru without being punished. Furthermore, the system itself also includes several rules. Two subjects cannot awaken to the same ultimate skill unless it is a skill imitated or gifted from another skill. Just like when Shion was named the second time by Rimuru as the Combat Lord Shion, she was given the Seed of Jealousy to awaken the ultimate skill, Jealous King Leviathan. But because of some events that caused the White Ice Dragon's sister, Velzardo, to awaken this skill first, Shion had to awaken another ultimate skill, the Savage King Susanoo, instead. Or Guy Crimson, with the skill the haughty King Lucifer, copied Milim's Wrathful King Satanel and Leon's Pure King Metatron. Just like Rimuru, the food chain, had shared the skill Beelzebub Gourmet King with Geld when Rimuru gave him the title Barrier Lord. However, Geld, Beelzebub Gourmet King, is considered an ultimate blessing and has a nature completely different from Rimuru's skill, so the world system still accepts. Additionally, some other rules are quite confusing and complicated, like the case of the Org's tribe leader Benimaru could not evolve into a spirit form without a descendant. For this reason, in order to evolve, our general had to quickly find someone to have the surrogacy for maintaining the race, or that two souls of one person cannot coexist in the same world. Therefore, those people who possessed time travel skills like Chloe have frequently confused the readers despite how many times the audience has read this anime. And of course, we will find out more about that in a video of Chloe in particular. Next, let's find out about the naming rules in Slime Datta. This is the attribute that exists especially in the slime world. It is not a skill, nor does it bring any direct effects like many techniques, but it affects indirectly and passively within the received creatures. Unlike our world, when names are just a way to address each other to facilitate communication progress and verbal abuse, names in the slime world are seen as a way to give power to demon creatures. In other words, a demon creature with a higher rank and a higher amount of magic elements would give part of its power to others through naming. After being named, the demon creature will give new powers, new skills, or even evolve to a higher level. As a result, naming is something that really happens in a community of monsters, almost all monsters living their entire lives without a name. So, named demon creatures would become grateful and respectful to the person who named them as a king or even as a lord. Yet, a slime came out of nowhere and gave names to most of the monsters in the areas he ruled over. So cool, right? You may remember, at the beginning of the series, naming was meant to grant power and establish a master-servant relationship between the demon's creatures. However, in the latter of the anime, naming proved to be necessary for communication, command, and power establishment. Therefore, as long as fulfilling all the requirements of the magical elements and gaining favorable conditions, powerful characters will usually give names to the person they choose. Basically, the naming process, the more magic is obtained, the stronger that demon creature will be and the greater the transformation. But on the contrary, it would also be harmful to the namer, because the more magic power, mana, being given away, the more power the namer would lose. Most notably, the amount of mana given away due to the naming will be permanently lost, leading to the owner's total mana will be permanently reduced. Even if the owners try too hard, they can suffer from death because of mana exhaustion. And our character, Rimuru, had been on the brink of death many times because of this naming. However, the chairman had fortunately survived by recovering the lost magic power from Veldora. Like the form of saving people, but in reality, it's nothing but to make those become cannon fodder. Also, the amount of magic given away when naming is directly proportional to the recipient's power. For instance, although Rimuru, after awakening the Demon Lord, had increased his magic power to 10 times, he lost half of that after bestowing the name of Diablo, a demon of the 7 demon primordials. For all those reasons, the demons are often very cautious about naming to each other. Some high-level devil humans are even more cautious when adjusting the amount of magic element when giving names to others. Obviously, Chairman Rimuru is not on this list. With his naively innocent personality, along with the habit of frequently wandering over places like when on Earth, Rimuru did not hesitate to name any creature he met, not even craving for magic element control. That caused the Great Jura Forest to suddenly appear countless high-level demon creatures and devil humans, making Tempest become a place with extremely strong military power. When Rimuru named 6 people of the Orc tribe, all 6 of them evolved into Hijin, the devil human form, and Soi said that 6 Hijin appearing at the same time was an unprecedented event. Because Hijin is an evolutionary level that only happens to the strongest orcs, those with a lifespan of hundreds of years, even thousands of years, that can achieve. And that time, Rimuru almost nearly died a second time because of the magic element exhaustion. So, what happens if the namer dies? The answer is that all the status obtained from that name will be lost. As in Gabiru's case, after Gelmud's death, Gabiru lost his name and became anonymous as originally. Since then, he was once again named by Rimuru and evolved into a Dragonute. Besides, when the owner of the name dies, the name can still be used for someone else. Regaining that old name is like taking back the entire identity and responsibilities of its predecessor. The proof of this is when Rimuru gave the name Geld to the son of the Orc Lord because the chairman saw a great desire in the son to redeem all the past mistakes on his father's behalf. What else? In the world of slime still exist individuals whose names are unknown from nowhere, such as Ramirez, Dino, Draguel, Raminus. Even the origin of the dragon's names is still unknown. It is believed that dragons were named by the voice of the world, and the demon lords like Dino or Ramirez were named by the Star King dragon Veldanava, the creator of the world. Besides the usual form of naming, there is also an equal way of naming in slime. Basically, we can understand this form is like having the same surname. A typical example is Rimuru and Veldora taking the same surname, Tempest. Since then, their relationship had been established in an equal position with each other. Then came a state of soul linking, allowing the freedom to exchange the energy and use each other's abilities to a certain extent. In the case of Rimuru and Veldora, besides being named by a dragon, as well as with the list of spectacular skills, it can be said that taking the same surname with Veldora accelerated the development process of Slime Chairman's power greatly. Moreover, you guys must be wondering who named Veldanava, the creator of the worlds. The only explanation here is that the Star King Dragon gave himself a name. Additionally, there is another character who also gave himself a name, Guy Crimson. This relates to the fact that people summoning this demon called him Guy in the kind of "Hey Guy" we often hear in English. Since then, this devil took Guy as his name. And if you're wondering how is the naming of humans in the slime world, because humans are not born of the magic element. Therefore, even if they name others, it does not have any effect on world peace. Consequently, unlike demon creatures, humans can freely name each other, which is extremely convenient in their daily lives. Together, we have learned all about the voice of the world, about the rules and naming systems in Slime Datta Ken. Thanks for listening up to this moment. Let's say goodbye and see you guys in the next video of Solis Sama.